Hi guys, Jordan here from T and the Turn of Hope, bringing you my Cargo deck profile. This is Blademaster. Entered it in a few tournaments, a few like 10-12 man tournaments. Done fairly well with it being a variation of decks really. Pale Moon, Great Nature, Gold Paladin, Mega Colony, Great Neonectar and all that. It's a fun deck to play, you know. I've changed a lot of stuff around since I started actually playing the build and whatnot, so I'm going to get straight into it. So I'm going to start with the G-Zone. We have the one Vortex Desire. What this does is you play it for your instant GB2. When it attacks, flip a face down card in your G-Zone face up, and on hit you get to retire up to the number of Flame Dragons on your board, or on your Vanguard, sorry. So if you're Legion, you retire 3. If you're not Legion, you retire 2. But it's solely in here just to get you to GB2. So then we play the 4 Dragonic Blademaster Titan. Probably one of the better strides in the deck. What he does is he's the Blaze ability. If you don't know what Blaze does, at the beginning of each attack, it checks to see if you have more rear guards than your opponent, and if you do, your Vanguard becomes blazing. Generation Break 2, Caliblast 1, and choose a face down card in your G-Zone and turn it face up. Choose up to the same number of your opponent's rear guards as the number of face up Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon Dragonic Blademaster Titan in your G-Zone. Retire them until end of turn. This unit gets, if it is blazing, it's 1 critical. So you use this one to clear your opponent's board, and you also helps push you the extra critical damage and whatnot. So he also works with your stars today, you know, on the retiring factor, but we'll get into that in a second. 4 Supreme Novel Vague Express. Most people are playing this now at 2 and maxing out the Ace. I personally really still like this card at 4. I mean, I agree with the people that say it's not as good now that G-Guards are a thing, but it's still really strong. What it does is Generation Break 2, Caliblast 1, and choose a copy of itself and flip it. Until end of turn, this unit gets, during the battle that this unit attacked the Vanguard, your opponent cannot pull grade 1 cards from their hand to the Guardian Circle, and if your opponent is on 5 damage, any triggers they get are nullified. So 9 times out of 10, this is the card I use to finish them off. It's very strong. It helps like dwindle down your opponent's hand and whatnot. So it's very good just to push the game. Next up we have the 2 Ace. I generally tend to use this to like dwindle down my opponent's hand to virtually nothing, so I can go to Express the next turn and basically hope to push the game. If not, I will go into him to help push the game and whatnot. He's Caliblast 2. Flip a copy of himself face up from the G-Zone, and if you have 2 or more face up cards in your G-Zone, he gets Drive -1, and when this unit attacks the Vanguard, you can discard 1 Overlord plus 1 other card, and you stand him, plus he gains 5k. So he's two very strong attacks. You get 4 drive checks. Originally I thought this card had to have an Overlord Soul, but it doesn't. You just have to discard an Overlord, so it's like very good, considering most Cargo decks play the Legend. So, for G-Guards, we play 5 G-Guards. We play the 1 Defeat Flare Dragon. This card, in this deck, I found sitting on the Legend, it doesn't bother you, because if you really need the Blademaster name, you can just stride into Titan. But against stuff like Pale Moon or Aqua Force, I will sit on the Legend just to use this guy. What he does is when your opponent's Vanguard attacks your Vanguard Overlord on this card name, you may pay the cost, which is counterblast of 1, and return 2 grade 3 Flame Dragons from your drop zone to the bottom of the deck in any order, and retire your opponent's back row, like the whole back row. So it gets rid of all their boosters. It gets rid of, say, if your opponent is playing deeply and they got a Laurel in the back, it gets rid of that so they can't restand, and so on and so on. I mean, with him, I guarded him against my opponent's Vanguard, and the attack was still going through, but I just let it go through anyway because I didn't really see the point. Because I only had like 3 damage at that point. I just wanted to get rid of his cat in high boots or whatever it's called. So 3 Denial Griffin. Like, this card is ridiculous. When you G-guard with it, counterblast 1, retire your opponent's attacking rear guard. Just outright retires it. Obviously, if it has resist, you can't do it. But it combos well with your starter, which is Dragon Knights today, because you can retire 2 units in your opponent's battle phase alone. So, and then we have the 1 screw. Everyone knows what this does. If you have a face-up card in your G-zone, discard a card against 10k shields. It becomes a 25k shield. Onto the main deck. As I've already said, our starter is Dragon Knights today. Best starter for this deck. I highly doubt I'll ever change it unless we do get something that is much better, so like a Blademaster starter other than Razor Edge Draco Killer, whatever it's called. What he does is when your opponent's rear guard is put into the drop zone due to a card effect, one of your card effects, move him to the soul, your opponent selects a rear guard and retires it. So he helps boost soul, which you need in this deck for like the Legend and Radiant Dragon and whatnot. But plus he retires another unit, and you can use him during your opponent's turn with Denial Griffin with Defeat Flare to get rid of 4 guys, or you can use him with Belloc that you use later on. So I'll put that there. We have 4 Dragonic Blademaster, heart and soul of the deck basically. Obviously, it wouldn't be a Blademaster deck if you wasn't running Blademasters. Most people say the Overlord build is the better one. I do tend to agree. I personally prefer the Blademaster build just because it gives you more options and I feel it's more fun to play. So, yeah, I played Blademaster build. What Blademaster does is Generation Break 2. When he attacks, if you have more rear guards than your opponent, he gains 5k and a crit. So he's a 16k Vanguard on his own. With a boost, you can get him up to silly numbers. But his on stride skill is the best part about him, which is when your G unit stride count plus 1, select opponent's rear guard and retire it. So you can also combo that with your Side to retire 2 guys and whatnot. So obviously, he also has the Blademaster name, which is what you need in this deck. And for the backup grade 3, we have the 4 Legend. I've never used his GP2 skill. I only really use him for his on-ride skill. His GP2 skill is counterblast 1, discard a grade 3 Flame Dragon. He gains 15k, plus 1 drive, plus 1 grade, so he becomes a stride. When he attacks a rear guard, after he attacks a rear guard, you can discard 3 cards and restand him. But you use him for his on-ride skill basically, which is counterblast 1, soul blast 1. And look at the top 5 cards of your deck for a Flame Dragon and add it to your hand. So it can be your Blademaster. If this is the only grade 3 you have in your hand, you can search for that Blademaster you need. You can search for Lava Flows, you can search for Perfect Guards, you can search for Radiant Dragon grade 2s if you need to. It's very good and whatnot. And also it's a grade 3, so you can discard it for Stride. Plus you need this for Defeat Flare. On to grade 2s. For Radiant Dragon, the best grade 2 in the deck in my opinion. What this does is it's the Glimmer Breath clone. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have a Vanguard with Dragonic Blademaster in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to one of your opponent's grade 1 or less rear guards, retire it until end of turn. This unit gets plus 2k. And if your Vanguard is blazing, this unit gets power plus 2k for each of your opponent's empty rear guard circles. So he's really good on the Titan turns where you're just depleting your opponent's field to nothing really. So you ride Blademaster, stride Titan, Blademaster skill to retire something, Titan skill to retire say 2-3 guys depending on how late in the game it is. And then if needs be you can use this guy to get rid of the last grade 1 that you didn't retire with the other guy's skills. So he can be attacking for 21k by himself. If not, if your Vanguard's blazing, he does still gain the open rearguard skills, so he can be attacking for 19k by himself, which still isn't too bad. Obviously, you want him to be hitting that 21k, but 3 Dragon Knight Nihilum. In this deck, sorry about that, my screen went black. In this deck, I don't really feel there's anything else to play. I mean, you could run Berserk Dragon, you could run Twilight Arrow. I personally don't like Twilight Arrow Dragon. Berserk Lord, is kind of the same as Twilight Arrow. It's just Berserk Lord you can use more, and it's every time your Vanguard attacks. I don't like them because the rest of your deck, your Grade 3s and your Strides and your Radiant Dragons just do their job but better. So, plus he's 10k base, so he helps you on your Grade 2 ride. If you ride him Grade 2, your opponent's attacking for 14k, you can guard for 10, that's a no pass. So, he's the best ride for Grade 2 in the game. I mean, once I've ridden him, my opponent's attacking and whatnot, and I can guard much, much easier than what it would be if I had a 9k Vanguard. So, if you don't use him, I recommend giving him a try. He does work. He does help. 2 Dragon Knight Imad. This is a recent add. I added this before the last tournament I went into, and that's the one I actually won. He's not bad. He didn't really get to do much. I didn't really see him, and when I did, I didn't really get his skill off. His skill is Generation Break 1, Counterblast 1. When your opponent's rearguard in the same column as this unit is put into the drop zone due to an effect of one of your cards, you may pay the cost. If you do, until end of turn, this unit gets plus 2,000, and at the beginning of the damage step of the battle that this unit attacks, if the number of your opponent's guardians is 1, choose one of your opponent's guardians, retire it, and that unit's effect cannot be hit and nullified. So you attack with this guy, something's been retired, you use his skill and whatnot, he's attacking for 11k. And if your opponent, say, G-guards with, say, Screw You, you can outright retire. If your opponent perfect guards, you can retire it and whatnot. It's always a 2-card guard for him. I mean, he did win me a game once. My opponent had, 1-2 cards left in hand and nothing on the board. And this guy had a crit on him, so I attacked my opponent's Vanguard with him, and the only card my opponent could guard him was the perfect card he had in his hand. So I just retired it, and that's how I won the game. He's a good card. I will be taking him out once GBTL 8 comes out and we get the Cray Elemental that gets rid of resist. But until then, he's not a bad choice. So. And the last for the Grade 2s, we have 2 Dragon Knight Nadim. It has the Blaze ability. Also, it's has unflip potential. When it attacks, it gains plus 2k, so it's an 11k booster. And if your Vanguard is blazing and it hits, and this guy hits, you countercharge 1. You do counterblast kind of a little bit in this deck, I guess. So just having that unflip potential is really nice. Now to Grade 1s, we have the standard 4 extremely expensive Protect Orb Dragons, which I believe are now going for about 20 quid each. There's not much really to say about these. The Flame Dragon Perfect cards, they unflip damage. As I've said, we counterblast a fair amount in this deck. But the main part about them is they're Flame Dragons, so you can search them out with the Legend. So, 4 Lava Flow Dragon. It's a Stride deck, so you need the Lava Flows. They're a Flame Dragon, so you can search them out with the Legend. Also, if you have, say, 2 Legends, you can call this guy, reveal one of them, search for Blademaster, add it to your hand, and then discard something. Set up a Defeat Flare and whatnot. 3 Dragon Knight Nadal. Here's your other. He's the Grade 1 Unflipper. What he does is, once per turn, when your opponent's rearguard is put into the drop zone due to an effect of one of your cards, if you have a Blademaster Vanguard in its card name, until end of turn, this unit gets, when your Vanguard becomes blazing, countercharge 1, and this unit gets 4k. So he's an 11k booster. He's awesome to have behind L'Express. If you have him behind your Vanguard, stride over Blademaster, retire something, he then becomes. He also has the Blaze ability, so you can make your Vanguard blaze. He becomes an 11k. That's Nova Vega attacking for 36, which they can't perfect guard, so it takes over a lot of cards from the hand or a couple of G guards and whatnot. So But it's the counter charge ability which makes him really nice. 3 Dragon Knight or Lizard Knight Belog, Lizard Soldier Belog. This has pretty much become a staple in all Kagero decks, but beforehand, like, nobody used to play it. What he does is Generation Break 1. When this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, choose one of your vanguards until end of turn. Until end of that battle, it gets at the end of the battle that this unit was attacked. If the attack did not hit during that battle, choose one of your opponent's resting rearguards and retire it. So you guard, the attack doesn't hit. Any one of your rearguards, any one of your opponent's rearguards that are resting, you can retire. So this is also a nice way to get rid of, say, the cat in Pale Moon. It's a good way to mess up your opponent's board, say Aquaforce, if they need to, like if your opponent attacks with Tidal Assault, guard of this, you can then retire that Tidal Assault to stop them getting their multiple attacks off. The same with like Denial Griffin and whatnot. So play a 3 because I was running 2, but I decided to bump it up to 3. For triggers, we have 4 Dragon Knight Janet. Janet is the Blademaster crit. When your unit with Blademaster in it, when your Vanguard with Blademaster's card name attacks, shoving the soul, your Vanguard gains 5k, and you draw a card. So, and we have 2 Demonic Dragon Mage Raksha. I was running Blu-ray Draco Kid in here, but I figured like I'm never going to be adding him to hand with Legends, so I might as well put something in here that does something. Raksha is a really old card. It comes from actually the Dragonic Blade Overlord trial deck, which is TDO1, I believe, or TDO2, because Blademaster was 1. Each time one of your opponent's rearguards is put into the drop zone, he gains 3k. So call him, Titan skill, retire 2-3 guys. He's 9k, 12k. You know, he can become a very good booster, or he can become a very good attacker, depending on what you want him for. If you need attackers or boosters. So. And we have 3 of the best draw trigger in the game, Gatling Claw Dragon. I do have 4. I just run 3 because of this guy. Gatling Claw, Caliburst while moving to Soul, select an opponent's grade 0 unit and retire it. So it helps with us today. If your opponent's still got the star on the board, it's grade 2, and they've called something else, you go retire your starter today, retire your grade 2. And then I run the 1-off Seal Dragon crit, which is the Marvel clone. I only run it because it helps boost Fuel Soul straight away. You know, if you need that extra bit of soul, you have this to go in there straight away, as it were. So. And then last for the deck, we have... Oh, no, sorry. We have the 2 stand trigger. Only run the 2. It's Blaze also. You're probably asking yourself why. When your Vanguard becomes blazing, put it on the bottom of your deck, select one of your rearguards, or select one of your units, give it 5k and draw a card. Then shuffle your deck. So it's a stand trigger that kind of doubles up as a draw trigger. Plus it helps your Vanguard become then blazing, which uses a lot of your skills. Plus it's a stand trigger. So it's really nice getting this on the Radiant Dragon turns and whatnot. So I wouldn't run any more than 2. And then of course we have the 4 Mother of Dragon. I'd much rather run the Seal Dragon Hill trigger, but Flame Dragon Hill triggers, you can't really complain. I'd only run the Seal Dragon one because of the artwork. So that was my Blademaster deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you around.